Hey, and welcome to another 3D how-to video for 123D Design. So I know that Halloween has already passed, but I've noticed a lot of cool ideas that people came up with for their Halloween costumes. And this weekend I'm actually going to a Renaissance fair, so I thought of the different things that I saw at past Renaissance fairs, and I thought it'd be really cool to show how I would possibly design and 3D print horns or ears for a headband for someone to walk around and wear. So today what I thought we would do is show how to use the Loft tool in order to create these different pieces that you could wear. So first let's start out with the ears. They're probably the easiest thing to do. So in the program we're going to use Sketch and we're going to use the spline tool to create arcs. And I'm just going to simply, let's make them a little bit wider. And we're going to make another one that's going to create the depth of the ear. Now it's really important, since I clicked off of this sketch, we're going to be creating a profile, so we need to click the sketch again in order to remain in the same sketch. So we're going to do something similar and place it like that. And then we're just going to simply close it off with straight lines. So now we have one of the profiles that we're going to use, and we're going to use this as a profile like you would use in a sweep, but we're going to make multiple of them different sizes to create this concave ear shape. So in isometric mode, we can take another look at it, swivel around here, and we're going to click on the profile, making sure to select the whole sketch. We're going to do Control-C, Control-V to copy it and paste it, and we're going to lift it up. So you see that it duplicates when you do that. So to create this curved ear, we're going to just copy it, lift it up a little bit, and tilt it forward, because this is just going to tilt forward a little bit like a cat's ear or something like that. And because it's actually going to taper as it goes to the top and not just be like a part of a cylinder, we're going to scale it so that it ends up tapering to a point. So with it selected, we're going to click Scale and just scale it down a little bit. And you can be a lot more mathematical about it, and down at the bottom choose a factor and make it uniform or changing as it goes up, but right now I'm just gonna be a little bit creative and keep going and just kind of scale it by eye. So click Enter, and we're gonna do the same thing going up the whole surface of the ear. For this last one, we're going to make it completely perpendicular to the first one, so it's facing straight forward. Let's see. Whoops. Scale it down, just like that. Okay, so in order to complete this loft, we're actually going to select all of these different sketches at once, and then we're going to select the Loft tool to confirm and to create that solid. And when doing this, it's important to make sure that when you are selecting each sketch, to select it in a similar place on each sketch, or else when it tries to loft between each sketch, it's going to end up twisting it and trying to connect different locations of the sketch at once. So we want it to basically follow a uniform arc as it goes, as it connects each sketch together in a loft. So like I said, hold down Control, and we're just going to click this side over here on this sketch. Do the same thing over here. Keep going up. You might have to change your view a little bit to get a good angle on it. Select that one, and finally, let's see. Nope. Do that again. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now with all those selected, let's go to construct in Loft. And as you can see, it created a shape that we might have not predicted, but this is something that you can definitely go back and alter each sketch in order to create it a little bit more uniformly. So let's hide the sketches right here to see how this turned out. It's actually not too bad. That's definitely doable. Let's actually round it out a little bit, so it's a little bit more round and organic shaped. Let's see if we can actually do all these at once. I like to change the fillet radius in the actual input box instead of doing it, because a lot of times the arrow that you see right here, if you try to fillet it through that, it'll select way too big of a radius and it'll end up giving you an error, which kind of lags the screen a little bit. And I just kind of like going up by small increments until I get to something that I like. So we're going to just start with 0, 0, 1 to see if that accepts it. It looks like it did, so let's do 0.01, and that looks better. What about 0.1? Okay, so that's coming up with an error, so let's do 0.05. Also an error, I think. Yeah, probably. Let's try 0.04. Still an error. Let's try doing them separately. Sometimes that might give it a better chance of filleting. 0.01. That should, I would imagine that would be pretty good. Let's do 0.1. Oh, that's too big. 0.025. It's hard to really predict what the radius of these corners would end up being, and what would actually give you an error. So now that that's filleted, let's see if we can fillet this this shape right up here. 0.01, 0.02, 0.03. There we go, that looks pretty good. Click to confirm. And there we have a shape that resembles an ear on some level, and you can definitely change each sketch, like I said, to make sure that you have a more uniform shape going up, or just make it so that it's exactly how you want it. I like to do 3D modeling in a little bit of a way that is kind of like molding clay, instead of kind of planning every single dimension out. You just kind of get in the program and mess around a little bit and get it done and see what works for you. And so now that we have this one ear made, we can create another one so that you can print out both in a 3D printer, or just so you have two models created. They're going to want to be mirror images to one another so that they kind of meet in the middle and look like a normal cat's ear or animal ear would look. So we're going to use the mirror tool, which I've definitely shown in other how-to videos, where we're going to select this solid, and definitely make sure to select the whole solid or it's going to give you an error. Depends on where you select the body, or you could just highlight the whole thing to be sure. Select the mirror plane, click a line in the middle that we just sketched up, click enter, and there you have two ears. So we can use this method to create a bunch of different accessories. So I'm going to show you one more, and that's going to be horns, which could either be demon horns, they could be ram horns, anything that you want. I've definitely seen a lot of people use horns from the movie Maleficent, or animal horns, or demon horns, or something like that. So I'm going to show you really simply how that's done. So just like before, we're going to create a sketch on the main grid surface here, and it's just going to be a circle because the cross section of our horn is just going to be a plain circle. You can use ovals or whatever if you want, but just for an example, we're going to use this. I'm going to hide these two real quick just so we can see what we're doing. There we go. And so like I said, we're going to do the same thing. Copy, paste, shrink, and readjust to change the path of the loft. Control C, Control V, raise it up a little bit, give it an angle, and with it selected, we can scale it just like that. and keep going. Okay, so now we have a few sketches to go off of and to create our loft from. So let's go ahead and select all the sketches like we did before, trying to make sure we hit the same place on each sketch, and then use the loft tool to follow these sketches. Okay, that didn't actually turn out that bad. I've tried this multiple times before and they turned out way worse, so I'm actually pretty proud of this one. And like with the ears and other things that you want to make, just go back, change the sketch, redo the loft, and keep seeing to keep checking in and making sure that it's exactly how you want it. So let's actually fillet this top right here so we're not just left with a flat surface. And let's try 0.01, 0.1. There we go, perfect. Hide the sketches real quick. There we go, that looks pretty good. Okay, let's copy it over so that we have a matching set. Select the whole object, go to Pattern, Mirror, select the mirror plane. There we go. So if you want to create horns or ears or anything like that, I definitely encourage you to, Google some inspiration for a certain type of animal horn or a certain type of animal ear, and you'll definitely find a lot of really cool things that you can make in the program.